Alright, welcome back. So today got a little servicing we're going to do. This is a product that I saw out there and I wanted to give it a shot. So went ahead and contacted Cal RC and got some products sent over. So we're going to service this stuff. I've got a Typhon that we're going to go ahead and service. They went ahead and sent out a couple of mats that we can give a try. Got some instructions how to maintain the mat, how to clean the mat, other recommendations that they have. Got any questions? They do have an email support that you can email them at. Very helpful guys. There's a lot of product. So we have some concentrate product here. This is a Moo Clean. It's concentrate. You mix it, they say, with distilled water is the best. We got some tire and hand cleaner. This is their Moo Clean Wash. Works good on tires. Supposed to make them look new again. Of course, the hide wipes, which is basically, from my understanding, the tire cleaner is in that hide wipe. So if your hide wipes ever dry out, you can go ahead and add some tire cleaner back into it to moisten them back up, which is something good to know, something I didn't know. Industrial strength RC silicone protector. They have industrial grade light grease coating. Ultra thin oil with PTFE, and then your electrical cleaner, and then of course some microfibers. And what I was really wanting to try is this udder butter, and that was the whole reference to the Nutter butter, was the udder butter. So don't get them confused on which ones you're ordering. Udder butter is what you're looking for, and this is supposed to work really good on differentials, ball ends, bearings. It's supposed to be a really good grease for your RC. So it's something I want to give a shot. This is 2.5 ounces is what they sent out to me. I want to say this is about 13 bucks, but if this stuff works good, the 8-ounce tub is the way you're going to want to go. This does say easily apply syringe, and it's got a pretty fat tip in there. So I guess once you have the syringe, go ahead and buy the 8-ounce tub, and you can just keep filling the syringe. The 8-ounce tub is like 25 bucks versus the $12.99, I think is what that was. And that's only 2.5 ounces. So the tub, I think, is probably going to be a better deal for the grease. And like me, I have several RC cars, so a tub of grease is definitely going to last a lot longer than 2.5 ounces of grease. Now, it's not supposed to take very much of that grease, of the udder butter grease. It's not supposed to take very much of this on differentials, bearings, that kind of stuff. It'll basically coat the bearings and coat the differentials. They're saying you don't have to sop the differentials or put a lot of grease into your bearings, that this stuff will just spread. So we'll see how that stuff works. So something I wanted to give a shot. But like I said, they do have some glues that you can pick up from them, labeled Cal RC. Glues are always good. And then they sent out, of course, the spray bottle for the tire clean, the Moo Clean, and then different tips and nozzles. My Typhon, I wanted to get this ready for the track this evening, so, but it's got some issues, and I definitely want to service everything on this, the TLR Typhon. This is my little race buggy. Never taken it to a track. Fix the fan, because the ESC works, the fan's just no good. And this is a 6S Spectrum system that I stuck in this. My TLR Typhon was a roller. So, and then I made some suspension adjustments to this RC. But I want to see if I can get it fixed. But let's service up some diffs, service up some bearings, and see how this stuff does. I'm going to go ahead and pop the wheels off just to make it a little easier. Plus I want to service up the bearings. This RC took some abuse racing over at the pump track last time I raced it, and then the fan broke and the ESC started overheating, so I pretty much called it a day there, put it away, and I was actually going to just change out the ESC, but I ended up using the ESC on something else. So what I want to do is get these bearings out. We're going to go ahead and service these bearings. I'll probably just service the diff first. Disconnect the sway bars. I showed how well the TLR Typhon performed over the regular Typhon. Let's see. Let's grab some napkins. Probably pull these pins and just pull the diff out. Alright, got the shocks out of the way. Oh, so this one is shimmed. And we're going to go ahead and clean up all this grease. So we're going to have to parts and chassis wash. We're going to have to dilute this and get some distilled water and a spray bottle for this, because I don't have a spray bottle. They sent this, but that's already full of chemical, so this has got to be mixed. So I got to get a spray bottle and some distilled water. Alright, so I had to run up, pick up a gallon of distilled water. Now, in reading what Cow RC says, this thing should make 4 gallons of heavy duty cleaner or 10 gallons of regular. And this thing at $50 for this is about the same as Simple Green. So we're going to go ahead and try to give it a shot. You will have to mix it yourself, so prepare for that. Heavy duty degreaser for diffs. Just going to add a little bit more to the bottle. There is distilled water in here already, what I took out of the top of that. So the first bottle, I'm going to make it a little heavier, I guess you could say. So about $2 for the distilled water. So that's going to add to your cost of the 10 gallons. because Walmart has Simple Green for around $10. Most places sell a gallon for about $12. So what I like about this stuff from talking to them is it doesn't dry out your plastics like normal degreasers. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish here. And then I have these little jars that I'm going to use for bearings and for cleaning some of these diff parts. Alright, so ran up to the hobby store, grabbed a Traxxas fan for the Valenian system so that I can replace out this fan, as they didn't have any. This one still works, but the blades are literally loose. The coil winding's bad on the inside, so it's just rattling around in there, hitting the blades. So coil winding's no good. Now I'm soldering on the Spectrum dual connector so that it'll run the motor fan along with plugging into the ESC. So I just got this all set up. All I do is twist them together. I put some solder down at the base. Go ahead and pop our fan back in here. So that they don't get pinched. And 3 wires. Orange. Black. Come on. And blue. And there. There we go. Now let's see 30 minutes of our part cleaning. Well, it didn't really break down the grease that's in there. So it is a mild cleaner. Makes the plastic look really good. Didn't really break down the grease on the inside and mix in with the cleaner. So now we're let that soak. Cleans up the plastic nice. So this soaked for about 30 minutes and it didn't break down the grease. Now Simple Green doesn't break down the grease either. So when I see things that say degreaser, that's the stuff that's really going to dry out your plastics. So what I need to do now is I got to clean that inside area. I'm going to try some of these hide wipes. This has got a seal on it. So there is a cover. These are the hide wipes. Really cleaning the parts pretty good. I like this. Seems to work really, really good. I can see a lot of uses for these, and they don't rip. They don't leave like any kind of film behind. As far as like lint or any of that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. Bearings on this thing are in excellent shape. Just want to make sure all the old grease is out, because I really want to see the wear of this udder butter. It's looking pretty darn good. I like that. It's a good product, as long as it's not drying out any plastics, which it seemed to do pretty good on the arms. Now what we're going to do is we're going to udder butter this thing up. We'll be right back. Alright, so used up the hide wipes, got everything wiped down on the RC. Now we're going to go ahead and use some udder butter and get this diff installed. So this stuff right here, Cow RC, udder butter. Just gonna basically lay it on the gear. I'm gonna throw some on the pinion in there. They say that's all you really need. It's just a little bit, goes a long way. Getting the udder butter everywhere. Take the hide wipe and clean up all this excess grease. Just so dirt and stuff don't stick to it. Good for your hands. Now we're going to get our sway bar installed. Now, these two little set screws are to stop the wiggle front and back. So these are out of adjustment. You want it to slide but not go in and out. right at the end. Now these, don't crank these down or you'll crack the plastics for the locks. So still goes back and forth. There we go. See, when you pick up one, it allows a little travel and then the sway bar grabs it. Perfect. So now we're going to do the rear diff, and I'm going to probably clean up these shocks just to make sure that the shocks are working perfect. We're going to unscrew these things. I'm going to service the shocks real quick while we're up here. I can probably put our little cover back on too. Now this was a roller, this TLR Typhon. When they first released them, they were rollers, and I believe they made them ready to runs shortly after. So I put the Spectrum electronics in it just to get it up and going and show you what it can do. 6S electronics in this buggy, but runs great on 3 and 4S. It doesn't need 6S, but I like the bigger ESC. There we go. Let's get these. Look, this one's falling apart, so we'll get this fixed too. The standoff is loose. We'll be back. Alright, so went ahead and cleaned up the front shocks. I'm in the process of cleaning up the rear shocks. Basically silicone sprayed, which is this stuff right here. The shock shafts. Cleaned up the shocks. We've got parts soaking in the chassis wash. So what I've been doing is cleaning out the bottom of the spring purchase using a Q-tip so that I can get into them. I've noticed down in here grime tends to stick no matter what, but the chassis wash is cleaning this stuff out, making the plastics look new. You see the grime that's on these plastics, and hopefully this stuff is going to give the plastics longevity and not dry them out. That's the whole reason I think CowRC invented this stuff, or is using this product this way, is that it's not going to dry out these plastics because of the chemicals. I went ahead and cleaned the whole chassis. I'll insert photo of the bottom of the chassis. Came out really nice. The bottom of the chassis was all black from the asphalt. I used the electrical cleaner and degreaser to clean the bottom of the chassis, and it took everything off of it, which is pretty amazing with the deep gouges. There's a bunch of black lines on it, and pretty much got rid of those black lines. Now the silicone spray, I changed the nozzle, you hold it 18 inches away and you miss the whole RC, and that's gonna give it a barrier. That was the extra tip that was in the bag, gives it a mist and stops dust from collecting on it, which is nice. I also wiped down the rims with the hide wipes and the chassis cleaner. Now, I didn't get it on the tires because you're not supposed to use the chassis wash on the tires. As you can see, the shocks with the TLR logo, it didn't take any of the TLR print off, didn't take any of the black anodizing off. The silicone coating is supposed to protect the shock shafts and boots. We'll see how that does, because when the springs are installed, these boots get very grimy, and I think what is going to happen now is dust isn't going to collect on it, which is nice, that we can just blow it off and it's not all grimy on the inside. So really taking these things all apart. The other thing that I did was the ultra thin oil with the PTFE. All the joints, all the links, pins, all that stuff. Sprayed everything after cleaning. As you see, they drop nice and free. The front was the same, nice and free, and that's what you're looking for. As you see, you lift one, the sway bar makes everything drop. Nothing binding. Pins are nice and free. Means the RC is going to perform at its best. Went ahead and serviced the rear diff with Utter Butter as well. So now all the diffs are serviced. I figured no sense repeating what I did in the front, as I've already shown it. So do most of this stuff off camera. I'm just on the last shocks right now, so figured I'd kick on the camera and show that. The product seems to work really well, and I'm hopeful that you don't have to tear it down this far every time, that the product is going to give you a lot of run time without having to tear down the RC every time to free something up. At least that's the hope. And the last thing to do is put the shocks and the pins back in. So we're going to get out and run the TLR Typhon and see how it performs after all the servicing. I imagine it's going to perform like it was brand new, if not better, considering everything is really free. If not better than new. The mats come in handy. There we go, Cow RC. The mat, everything did really well. All the products performed exceptionally. Now we'll see how the longevity of this product does. Will it preserve the plastic, the tires, all that stuff? We're gonna let this thing dry. We're gonna get it out, go rip it. As you can see, chassis all metal now, no black streaks across it, which is great. This thing was covered from black front to rear from running on the blacktop, the asphalt. Literally dug in and collected all over the chassis, and the electrical cleaner got rid of all that stuff. I did try the parts and chassis wash. It didn't seem to take off that black tar, but the electrical cleaner took it right off, and then I used the chassis wash just to wash it all down. It dried, no oily film on anything. Nothing's oily. Wing came out looking new again. I think the products work really good. It frees up all the suspension. The thing should perform exceptional. But we'll see. We'll get it out. We'll rip it. We'll check the longevity of this product. See if it's drying out any plastics or arms are breaking prematurely. That's a good sign. I know using like Roa Purple, that kind of stuff with the chemical that's in it, it really dries out the plastics, starts making things look white or dull. This literally brought back the factory sheen to all the plastics, and the shocks, the wing, the body, everything worked like it should. So shout out Cal RC. Thanks for sending out the product, letting me try it out. Love the mat. We'll get everything cleaned up. We'll get out and rip it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. Hopefully this will help in making your decision. Cal RC, definitely some cool products. Even the body has got a sheen to it now. Hopefully the dust will stay off of it. The dirt will stay off of it. It'll be easy to maintain from this point on. But we'll see. We'll go rip it. Let me know what you think. How does the chassis look? All the plastics, in my opinion, look back to factory, which is what you're going for on an RC that's this old. I mean, this RC I think is a couple years old now, and it was starting to show its age, and now everything looks back to normal. Plastics, everything's performing well. But there we go, TLR Typhon. Let's get out and rip it. Thanks for watching.